Welcome, welcome, welcome to Munchies Mindset. We're so happy you're with us today. We have Donna with us today. She is a spiritual healer. We do have a full house today, lots of people in house, so you will see me with the mask on during this session, but I can't wait for you guys to hear about Donna and talk a little bit more about all the great things that she is doing in her life, in her journey, on her healing journey. She has so many amazing modalities. But before I go in and actually read your bio, Donna, what is your favorite snack food?
My favorite snack food forever has been popcorn. Any kind of popcorn, flavored popcorn, regular popcorn, movie theater popcorn. That's been my favorite since childhood and still is. Nothing changes.
Very good. Yeah, we love popcorn too in our house.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on. For those of you who don't know Donna, I'm going to read her bio to you because she does have quite a few interesting modalities that she does. And she is an intuitive soul guide who works with those who seek to connect with their soul and live life from that place. Our soul is the aspect of ourselves that is eternal and holds all knowledge that is true for us and in our highest good. When we live from our soul-led place, we can navigate life's transitions, challenges, and changes with ease and confidence. She teaches her clients to tap into the eternal part of themselves that holds their wisdom, their inner knowing, their soul. She does this primarily through soul guidance sessions, as well as bringing in a variety of modalities as needed. In addition to her innate intuitive gifts, she is training in the following modality: Akashic Records practitioner. The Akashic Records are described as an energetic database or library which holds all the information and experiences pertaining to our souls. Negative energy release via cord cutting, past life healing, property clearing, spiritual psychotherapy. On a more personal note, Donna has lived with an autoimmune condition for almost her entire life and is therefore passionate about topics such as inclusion, compassion, and empathy. She is an animal lover, a mom of two, and she lives just outside of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. You can connect with Donna at donnahenderson.com. And again, all the social media taglines and everything are going to be added to this post. Donna, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Everything you do is going to be such it falls so in line with just healing and helping people manage their stress and manage anxiety. So I love the preventative approach to medicine, which is what we are as healers. We're more of the preventative approach. But when it comes down to our emotions, which control so much of how we show up in the world, how do you help your clients tap into that emotions, or if they're having negative ones, kind of navigate through that?
So my viewpoint on emotions are just, and you may have heard this, emotions are energy in motion. So they are simply energy that has to be in motion. And as human beings, we categorize emotions as positive and negative because some feel good and some don't feel good. So of course, we're going to call them positive and negative, but they're not really positive and negative. They're just energy that has to move. And so when we're feeling a quote unquote negative emotion, we need to allow it to be felt and to move through our body, because if it doesn't move through our body, it gets stuck. And that's where health issues can come about. It can be, physical health, mental health, emotional health, however it kind of manifests for the person. And so it's really important to feel everything. And also the other aspect to emotions is they have a message for us. So you mentioned anxiety as an example. I'll use that as the example. Anxiety is when we're worried or anxious about something that is not happening right now in the moment. We're worried about a future state. Something could happen, anxious about something, occurring in the future, but it's not happening right now. And so when anxiety shows up, it has a message for us to bring us back into the present moment. And so then that's where the tools come into place. Once you know what the emotion is and what the message is that it has for you, then that's where I can help with my clients to figure out the best tool or strategy for them. So keeping with this example, mindfulness is what they would want to do. And that could be doing a mindfulness meditation, or if they're not into meditation and anxiety comes upon them when they're at work, you know, you can't just stop work and go meditate necessarily. So there's other strategies that you can use. For example, anything to do with your five senses will bring you back to the present moment. So water is a great way to bring you back to the present moment, just for example. So if you just go and run your hands underwater, you know, and if you're somewhere at work or busy or whatever, that's a really super quick, easy thing to do. And it gets you back into your body and it gets you back grounded. And it helps to dissipate some of the anxiety. So that's just one, and we're all washing our hands so much these days. That's a super quick and easy thing to do. You know, and like I said, anything to do with the five senses, taking a sip of your coffee and really smelling the aroma, or, you know, eating something, or listening to some music, going for a walk. Like, these are all things that are five senses related. And if you go for a walk, it's not go for a walk and stress out with the anxiety. It's go for a walk and look around. Oh, I can hear that bird over there, and look at the wind rustling in the trees and hear it. And so those are some of the strategies that I would, you know, use just in that example around emotions, is educating my client around what's going on, and then giving them some strategies and tools to help navigate the quote unquote negative emotions that might be cropping up for them depending on what's happening in their life. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And I love the part when just in your bio, when you talk about you help people, like a soul-led place, and you help to make them live through that. So living through your soul-led place, our souls tend to be always, from what I understand, its whole job is to protect us and to lead us in the right direction. It's our left brain, right brain, for the better part, that tends to get in the way. So how do you help your besides washing their hands and stuff, and going into the next question where it's negative self-talk can really hinder us and keep us exactly where we are, you get them emotionally to a place where they can really start to see, okay, yes, I'm starting to feel better. How do we change that inner self-talk? The many things that you guide your clients, and sometimes you just have to take them down the road to see how to change it, because it becomes a habit when we talk like that. And the habit can start to set in and we don't even realize we're doing it.
That's exactly it. With the negative self-talk, it's all about awareness. So if we don't have the awareness of what I call our inner landscape of what's happening inside our mind, if we don't have the awareness of what we're saying to ourselves, it's so insidious sometimes, because the negative self-talk has developed over time and over our whole lives. We don't realize what we're saying to ourselves. There's a whole conversation going on all the time, you know, in all of our waking hours. So the first key is awareness. And with that, if that presents itself as something that I need to work on with my clients, then, I mean, we all need to work on it, but if it's what shows up in what we're working on, then I have some tools that will bring about an awareness for them to know what it is that they're saying to themselves. So hearing your own voice when you're saying things to people, because a lot of times our self-talk comes out in what we're saying to others. We don't often listen to what we're saying. It sounds strange, but we don't realize the things that we say most often. So sometimes even just reaching out to 5 or 10 people that know us really well and say, what are the catchphrases or things that I say about myself a lot? Because other people will hear it in the way that we don't. So that's just a quick little easy thing to do. Or even if you're typing a text or an email or something, really looking at what you're saying. I'll give you a quick example that I've seen, not only with myself, but with some clients as well, is the use of the word sorry, which doesn't sound like negative self-talk, but what it is if it's excessive use of the word sorry, what that means underneath that is it's really apologizing for who you are, for the space that you're taking up in the world, for what you're saying. And it's not standing in your power. So just as simple as saying, someone sent you a text and you didn't respond for a day, and you start off by saying, oh, sorry, I didn't get a chance to blah, 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 because whatever. Well, like only say sorry if you've truly done something painful, hurtful, intentional to the other person. Like you might feel badly for not responding, but it's not necessary to constantly apologize for yourself. So it's tuning into what is the energy behind what I'm saying? Because again, everything I do has to do with energy, because everything is. Words are energy, and words are extremely powerful, and they hold an energy. I'm constantly saying this to my kids. We say things like, oh, I'm in so much pain, I just want to die. Well, no, and kids will come out with things like that. And words are energy. It's really important to be mindful and aware of what you're saying to yourself, what you're saying out loud, how you're communicating to others. And so even for myself over time, I've become really aware of what my habits are around that. I've scaled back on the I'm sorry. Doesn't mean I'm not apologizing for what I should apologize for, but sometimes it's just a habit, and then it doesn't hold any weight when you truly are apologizing. So that's just an example of the importance of the power behind words, not only in our heads and as well as out loud, and how to shift it. It's the awareness.
Yeah, and absolutely. The words can be so incredibly powerful in how you see yourself as well. And you can start to believe exactly what you say. And that's why we have people that struggle with, there's some people that just make everything look easy and are in places of emotional wealth, financial wealth, but they practice this every day. They practice being positive. They practice the utmost gratitude. They practice this all the time, and that's how they get there. They don't get there by being negative or putting people down. When you look at the true inspirational leaders of the world and where they are, they really do practice a lot of self-gratitude to be able to get there and pat themselves on the back, and they work hard. They work very hard.
Yes, and that's a really important point, because gratitude on the emotional frequency scale, which you may have seen, there's an emotional frequency scale. So all the different emotions, I'm kind of going back to the emotions question, but all the different emotions each have a vibrational frequency, which is energy, holds an energy. And the one that's at the very, very top, just under enlightenment, when you're Buddha, but we're not. So just under enlightenment is gratitude. It's higher even than love. Gratitude holds an emotional frequency of 900 hertz, and love is, I think, 750 or something like that. So if we can, even when things are really tough, or we're feeling really negative, or really down on ourselves, if we can come to a place of gratitude, just one thing that we can be grateful for, and start our day that way, it'll shift everything, and just get in that habit and that practice. Absolutely. Good point.
Very good. Yeah. And then action, right? So how do you get your clients to take action? So you're getting them to a point of health, and you're really helping them navigate through some very difficult, maybe challenging times. But how do you get them now to do that final step, to be able to move forward?
Right. So this is kind of the formula that I follow. And I learned it in my psychotherapy training, which is awareness comes first, because if we don't have an awareness of what we're doing or what's happening in our life or how we're speaking to ourselves or our emotions, then we can't change anything. So awareness is first, and then acceptance. And this is key. And we didn't really talk about this, but accepting and not judging yourself and where you're at and what your habits have been. You have to come to a place of self-care, self-compassion, really, and acceptance. And then the next step is action. And it's not a linear process. So it's not like, you do this, this, and this, and then poof, everything's different. It's a constant change and shift. So clarity with action, the most important thing is clarity. So once you've kind of done, you have the awareness and your acceptance, and you want to take some action to shift, you need to have some clarity of what you want to shift and how you want to shift. So with my clients, we usually focus on one particular life area. Otherwise, we can just be kind of all over the place and unfocused. So we're usually focusing on a particular life area that they're really seeking some change. And so we go through this evolution. And I tend to be very, with my work with my clients, it's, I assign tasks in between our calls and sessions because what I don't want, I want to see forward movement, and they do too. That's why they sign up. So, we don't just have a call and then wait 2 weeks and have another call and it's all just chit chat. I'm assigning tasks because they need to be as invested in forward movement as I am in supporting and guiding them. And I don't have the answers for anybody. Everyone has the answers within for themselves. And so all I'm doing is helping to connect my clients with that inner voice, which is your soul, your higher self, whatever word you want to use. It's that all-knowing part of you that you alluded to that has only your highest and best intentions at heart for you, but it's a very quiet voice. And our mind is a very loud voice. So it's quieting the mind, which is trying to keep us in patterns, and tuning into our soul or our higher self, which is a quieter voice, which we need to learn to listen to. And the world is busy, so it's kind of tuning in. So I give tasks and to-dos to help my clients to kind of connect with that inner part of themselves, because we're typically not used to it. We're not taught as children about our energetic body. We're taught about our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, but we're not taught about our energetic body. And that is our soul. And so we need to, learn how to do that. So, that's really, it depends on the client, but I use all the different tools, the different modalities that I've trained in. And that's where my intuition comes in as to, in each session, what to bring in, what's kind of the best next step for the client. And we talk about it together. It's very collaborative. So if that answers.
No, that does. I love how you put, like, we all do have the answers. And that's the one thing as therapists and as specialists in different trades of whatever people may be in, every client and you out there who may be struggling, you do have the answer within, but you have to get yourself to a place of calm to find that answer, because when we're in a reactive state, we just can't physically get there because our brain is turning so fast that we can't get that answer, and we can't put ourselves in a place of calm when we're spiraling out of control. So getting us out and finding someone, whether it's a facilitator just to facilitate you to a meditation or anything to bring you down so that you can listen to that voice, because you do have the answer within, and people like Donna can't give you the answer to your higher life because it is your path and it is your life. But Donna can absolutely help you with tools to being able to get there a little bit easier, finding that clearer path and being able to hear the messages that are coming to you so that you can move forward and be able to feel in control again. I think that's really what a lot of people, especially in the last 15 months, the control factor has not been there, and it's been very scary for a lot of us because we haven't had the ability to control our finances like we used to in the past, the ability to control our time, because even that's been either frozen or given back to us. So there's a lot of people that are scared and don't know how to move forward, and that's where someone like you. So I love the fact that you said, like, you can't give them the answers, but you can absolutely help them see and find the answers for themselves.
Exactly. And I've had clients who reach out to me and say, oh, can you ask my Akashic records, which is like the library or database for every soul, can you ask if I should do this or this? It doesn't, yes, I can ask, but I always direct them back to themselves, because we have the answers. Relying on anything external, even the Akashic records, which is a beautiful modality, relying on anything external to ourselves will never give us the answers that we're seeking. And we need to learn to come back within and find the answers within, and develop the confidence to do that, because we've never been taught. We've been taught to look externally for the answers, and they're not there. And so it's a process, and I won't say it's easy, and sometimes it can be scary, but learning to tap into that part of yourself will give you such a peace and a calm and a confidence, so that when the chaos is going on outside in your life, you have that internal calm. Like you were saying, you're like the eye of the storm. The storm is here, and you can always find that calm center. So that's what tuning into your soul, your higher self will do for you, because we can't control what's going on out here. And so we can, it's the locus of control. Where is your locus of control? It's always within. And just focusing on that will always bring you back to that state. So not to say we won't get stressed and whatever, we're human beings, of course, but, and that happens to everybody, but learning that is what I'm passionate about, teaching others how to do that, because it's been such a gift for me. So.
It's nice because when something has been such a gift for you, you spread it with so much love because you know how well it works. So on to our last question. As a spiritual healer, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do and how you help people on a daily basis.
Well, it's kind of what you said in my bio, but coming from my own words, I've been on my spiritual journey for over 20 years. You know, I was in the corporate world for a really long time, for almost 25 years. And during that time, part-time, I would take courses, and I was always seeking. I felt like there was something missing. So I've been on my own spiritual journey for a really long time. And then, and that's where I've, trained in all the different modalities, et cetera. But it was always very part-time. And it's only been in recent years that I've stepped into doing this full time and left the corporate world completely in the last couple of years. So it's been a bit of a leap of faith, but it's like, it's my passion. And it's like you said, it's a desire to pay forward what I've been able to create in my own life. Because as I've seen in the last, 16, 18 months, sometimes the world goes sideways. And so I've been never so grateful to have this connection to my soul or my higher self, that aspect, that eternal part of me that is believing with and knowing with no shadow of a doubt that everything will be okay. Everything is unfolding as it's meant to, that I am here for a purpose, as is every single person on the planet. Anyone that's here right now, is here for a purpose and to serve in some way. So to assist others to connect with that aspect of themselves and to watch it unfold in their life, because everyone's journey is completely unique, is just the most miraculous thing. So, so I don't know if that really answers your question, but that's kind of where I'm at and why I do what I do. It's a paying it forward sort of mentality. And the other thing I'll share is I view my outlook on life is that everything is a gift. Life is a gift and every situation is a gift, which is, some people could view it as very Pollyanna, like how could you view what's happened in the last year and a half as a gift? But I always see the gifts. I'm not saying the whole thing is a gift. I'm saying there are threads that are gifts, and I always see the gifts in every situation. So, and I think for me, that came from being diagnosed with an autoimmune condition when I was 3. So I've had it my whole life, and it gave me a resilience and this aspect of me that just views life that way. So in any way that I can share that and help guide people to whatever that looks like for them, because it's unique, is my mission. So, yeah.
I think it's important to always find the gift in everything, because even like the last, for myself, being shut down on December 26th, I've never had a Christmas with my family, not ever, because I work. It's in the spa industry. That's our busiest time between Christmas and New Year's. And before Christmas, it's all gift certificates. And then between Christmas and New Year's, it's everybody getting ready for New Year's, Eve or
Right.
Boxing Day, or just getting ready for vacations right after Christmas. So we're always completely slammed that week. So when we were forced to close at December 26th, and my son lives out west, so I only get to see him once a year at Christmas, and I got to be with him for the entire week. So yes, it was an absolutely beautiful gift that I appreciated, because I've never spent a Christmas, like an entire Christmas with my family. I have 25th and 26th off, and that's it.
That's it.
And then I'm back, right? So it was beautiful.
That's amazing. That's a perfect example. And it doesn't mean, so of course, it was very challenging, I'm sure, for you and for many people over this past year and a half, and maybe continues to be in lots of ways, but both things can be true at the same time. So it's where you choose to focus your your energy, your mental energy. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have days that you're down or upset or whatever, or moments. That's fine. And that's normal because we're human, but bringing ourselves back to seeing the gift, or the positive aspect or the silver lining or whatever you want to call it, is really important for our mental health, you know? So yeah, I had something similar over the last year and a half. My kids, they're teenagers, and they always fought with each other and never got along. And I always was kind of dismayed that they wouldn't be friends, you know, and people would tell me, oh, don't worry, once they're adults, they'll be. And I thought, well, no, they're so different. And in the last year and a half, they've become really close because they've been together a lot more. I mean, it could have gone the other way, but it didn't. And I'm so grateful. Like, I can't even tell you as a mom to witness it. So, you know, there's always those gifts that we can find in every situation.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for being on Munchies and Mindset. I really appreciate it. And for those of you watching, if you want to snack guilt-free, you can visit us at holisticapproachstore.com. Until next time, stay healthy. All right, all done. I'm just going to stop.